describe what it's like? I mean, you've been at Liverpool all your footballing life.
Yeah.
What will it be like walking away?
It's going to be strange, it's going to be emotional. I'll be lying if I said I'm not sad underneath the excitement of the new challenge. I'm sure May is going to be a difficult month for me, the last couple of Premier League games and hopefully maybe a cup final to look forward to, but it's going to be sad for me and my family because, as you say, it's been not just my career, it's been my life. From 8 years of age I've always gone to Melwood to train and practice to become a player, and then spent every single day up till the summer as a Liverpool player, so it's going to be tough, but it's also exciting as well. It's a fresh challenge for me and one I'm looking forward to.
Steve, did you grow up thinking about possibly one day playing in an FA Cup final?
Not at all. No, it was just all about watching them and enjoying them with the family. The dream was obviously to try and be a professional footballer, but the thought of playing in FA Cup finals or at that level was just a dream back then. Really. It
was one of those things growing up for most of us, certainly my generation, and it's changed gradually over the years, that cup final day was one of the few things you could watch on TV.
Yeah.
Was that the same for you?
Yeah, it was the same for me. If Liverpool or Everton were involved in the street, it was always a street party and it was a massive event. I grew up, even if Liverpool weren't involved in the final, I'd always make sure I was in front of the telly with the family to watch it. It is my favourite competition. Although I'd love nothing better to have a league title under my belt. I'm so proud to say that I've won the FA Cup, and I wouldn't change it for anything. It's a magic cup.
The two FA Cup finals that you did end up on the winning side, they were both incredible comebacks, really, weren't they?
Yeah.
The first one was very much Michael Owen's final, wasn't it?
For sure, yeah. I mean, we didn't play well as a team. I think we were up against a very strong team in Arsenal. They completely dominated the game from start to finish. But the strange thing about football and cup finals, not always does the best team win, as it was shown on that day. Michael completely turned the game on its head, really. We could have been 3 or 4 down at half time, game out of sight, but we stuck in there. We kept fighting, and two moments of absolute brilliance put it in our favour, but a little bit embarrassed, really, looking back on that.
Really?
How I played personally and also how the team played, because
did it get to you a bit, that playing in the first FA Cup final, do you think?
I think I sort of got myself up for it too much. I sort of lost sleep the night before. I was very nervous on the morning. I wanted it that much. I think it affected my performance personally.
Can you remember that first walk out? I know it wasn't Wembley, it was Millennium Stadium, wasn't it? But can you remember that feeling of walking out? Because it's quite unique in FA Cup final, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that was the only disappointment, if you like, that it wasn't at Wembley, because obviously being a massive England fan and a big fan of the FA Cup, it would have been special to be at Wembley. But the walkout was still, a top feeling. The hairs on my neck were standing up, and just to see the stadium full and be involved in that occasion after watching so many over the years was just a dream come true, really.
And Michael's finishing that day was electric.
Phenomenal, top player. When he was in his prime, he was up there with the best. Speed, great movement, a joy for me as a midfielder to play with. I always knew as soon as I looked up he'd be an option for me. I used to always slaughter him for coming short because he's crap when he comes short. But
he wasn't on his own.
the best running behind, timing of runs, and an absolute dream to play with, and especially the second finish. The angle he put it in the side of the net against a top class goalie. He deserves that final to be named after him, really. And
there's a wonderful bit where he runs off and you dive in there, and the celebration's magical.
Always first on the sea. Just thinking of the pictures, a few days after.
Good planning.
But no, I mean, that feeling, as I say, we'd been absolutely dominated for the full game. And to get our noses in front with a special goal, I just couldn't wait to get on his back, really, and enjoy the moment with him.
A few years later, it was the Gerrards final. Now, it's very few finals that get called after a person, and that's very true with yours. The Stanley Matthews final, you could possibly say the Michael Owen final, but it was certainly yours, wasn't it, against West Ham?
It was my day, for sure. I mean, everything clicked and went right for me, but it's very flattering for people to say that, but I'd never ever agree with it, of course, because it was a team effort, and all the players were dying with cramp toward the end of the game, which showed the amount of effort we'd done. We never played well on that day either, really. You know, we scored an own goal with Carragher, and you start to think to yourself, oh no, you know, you're panicking, and 2-0
down,
you're 2-0 down, and you think, you know, there's no chance we're going to get back into this. You know, West Ham were set up really well on the day. You know, Pardew had them well drilled, and it didn't feel in the game that we were going to get back into it.
It's quite important, I think, that you probably scored reasonably quickly after the set.
Yeah, for sure, and a great finish as well for Cisse.
And a great pass from yourself.
Yeah, I mean, another quick striker. As a midfielder, I love playing with pace, and I love players running in behind for me so I can put them in. But he done all the hard work. You know, he finished it off really well, and that gave us a bit of belief.
So you go in at half time, and you coming out. You must be quite bullish at the fact that you've got one back in it. Can you remember what was said at half time?
I think it was a bit of a mixture of being relieved that we were back in the game, but it gave us such a lift because we knew if we scored next, there was every chance we maybe could have won it in the 90 minutes. Manager just told us to stay calm, keep doing what we were doing, because I think the 20 minutes before the break we were starting to grow and get a little bit better, but it was a disaster the first 15-20 minutes.
2-2 was your goal. I mean, we all remember the equalising goal on the last minute, but your first one wasn't bad either, was it? Beautiful strike.
It was a great set-up by the big man Crouchy. We went a bit more direct second half up to the big man, and he set it perfect for me. I got my technique spot on for the first goal. You know, the connection and the timing felt really good, and the buzz of scoring in a cup final was just difficult to describe. Difficult to describe. It's just, you feel on top of the world. You feel like you're the most important person in the world, and just memories kept flooding back to me of all the cup finals I'd watched, all the moments where I'd said to myself, I'd love to play in one of them finals, I'd love to score in a final, and it was just like a big sense of achievement. And also for the team to get back to 2-2, knowing the effect it was going to have on West Ham.
Did you think at that point, right, this is?
I thought we were going to win it in the 90. Yeah. I thought it would have absolutely killed West Ham. Credit to them. You come back again.
Bit of a sort of odd goal, wasn't it? A fluke that got them ahead.
Bit of a fluke, but they weren't complaining. They were all celebrating with the fans, and West Ham supporters on the day were incredible. But you know, I couldn't believe that it had gone back, you know, into their control, and again we had to fight to get back in it. The second time I thought it was curtains. Yeah.
You did. You thought
I thought it was curtains.
And also you were really struggling, weren't you? You were limping with.
Yeah, a lot of us were. I think it was only.
Why do you think that was? Because it's quite unusual. I mean, I've watched you play for years. I've never seen you get.
I think it's the excitement of the cup. I don't think you sleep right the days before it. As I say, you almost get yourself too up for it, too excited. I think there was only Momo Sissoko in our team who didn't go down with cramp, and he was obviously the fittest in the squad by a mile. But yeah, struggling with cramp. And looking around at my teammates, I could see there wasn't much left. That's why I thought we're done. It's over.
Right, talk us through that goal. You've probably done it 1,000 times.
You might believe it, but it's total luck, the last goal, because usually that far out I'd try and maybe set the play out wide to try and get a cross in and think about the team, but I was that tired. I just thought, I'll gamble, and I just pot luck. I whacked one, and it was just an absolute dream connection. I knew as soon as it left my foot that it had a good chance, because I didn't feel it come off. You know, sometimes you hit a ball and you think it's the connection's spot on, and the relief when I seen the net goal was just. Was that the main emotion, relief, that you were still in it? I suppose. Yeah, just give us that little chance, because I just wanted that cut more than anything.
Was it a sense of, right, we're back in it, or there was also, must have been part of you thought, good heavens, what a goal that was?
A little bit, yeah. I was just thinking, as soon as I'd gone through the celebration and I'd had that initial buzz that you get, and I sort of got back into my heart, I was just thinking, get to penalties, not try and get another one. I just knew we were all shattered and we were all finished. I was thinking, compact, stay tight, get to penalties, and just let's go for the lottery.
You did something in your celebration. Have you watched your celebration? Have you seen it? You do that, you point to your name on your back.
Yeah, because
that's quite unusual. I've never seen you do anything like that.
I know, I don't like it. I'm a little bit embarrassed by it. But as I said to you, that feeling when you score in the FA Cup final, you just feel on top of the world, and I just felt like the most special and important player in the world for that 30 seconds. And then when I've watched it back, obviously, just total embarrassment.
But as you say, you go into extra time now, and having done what you created one goal with a great pass, you've scored two terrific goals. You must be thinking, oh, absolutely got to win this now.
I'm also thinking, I fancy Pepe Reina in the penalty shootout. I practice penalties a lot.
Even though he'd not had the best day.
He hadn't had the best day, but I just thought the luck was dropping for us. The way we got back into it in the first place, then we got back into it in extra time. I was thinking it's going to be our day. And I fancy Pepe before Shaq. His luck, with all due respect, Pepe had a reputation for being great in shootouts, and I obviously knew what he could do on a training pitch, so it was just get to penalties, and I fancied us.
And he did get to penalties, and you were right.
Yeah, well, we had good penalty takers on the day, and you know, penalties can go either way. You know yourself, it's just all about holding your nerves, and just such a relief to get through one and win one. I had a couple of bad experiences with England prior to it, but it was my first.
We all have.
first major penalty shootout domestically, really. So nervous, but you know, just happy we got to that stage, really.
How would you compare it, walking up to take one for England in a World Cup shootout, and compare it with taking one to win an FA Cup final?
I think it's different. I think there's a lot more pressure with England when you do it, because of what's happened before, and I just think if I missed one for Liverpool, this is speaking from a personal point of view, I think I'd be forgiven a lot quicker, because maybe the fans love me more for Liverpool, and they've seen me do other things which will help them forgive me for missing a penalty, whereas with England the pressure's always on, and that walk up for England is difficult to describe. It's different for me. I feel a lot more comfortable walking up for Liverpool than I did for England.
Yeah. Did you feel confident with that particular one, especially given the game that you'd had?
Yeah, I felt really confident. I couldn't have been in a better place. Although my legs were tired and stuff, I just one more kick. You know yourself, when you're walking up to a penalty, if you're playing well, it's completely different. If you've made some big mistakes in the game, it just adds that pressure to you.
What was it like that moment at the end? He makes the save, he made 2 or 3 saves in that penalty shootout. You've won the cup that way. You've come from basically a lost position.
It's just a wow moment. You just get lost in the emotion. It's like a mixture of being happy, but you also want to cry as well. It's just, if you could bottle that feeling, you know, as a footballer, it's just special, and that's the reason why, you know, I love playing at this level. For them moments, it's just worth all the sacrifices you make and all the lows that you have in your career. For them moments, it's worth it.
And the celebrations post that, going up to get the cup, anything stick in your mind?
I just remember getting past it and just want to get it over my head as quick as possible. But the feeling is just...
I suppose that as well, being captain that day and getting the opportunity to lift the cup must be special.
Yeah, I almost felt when I grabbed it in 2001 that we'd stole it from Arsenal, and that we didn't deserve it and didn't have the best of the day personally. So I was thinking a lot about my performance when I lifted it the first time. But in 2006, because I knew I'd played very well and we got all the luck, and it was a special day personally, it just felt better.
You played one Wembley Cup final, and you didn't win that one. That went wrong.
No.
What's it like for you losing an FA Cup final?
It's the complete opposite to winning one. Again, analysing your performance personally, the team's performance, when you're actually waiting to go and get your runners-up medal.
That's a long wait, that, isn't it? For that
it's a long wait, and you've got to be respectful to the opposition. Basically, you just want to be in the dressing room, change, showered, and home, and you want to forget about the experience as quick as you can. So I describe it as the complete opposite to winning it. You're just on the floor, and for days and weeks after, you feel like you've lost that, that chance. It's a horrible feeling. There
are very few one-off games that compare, aren't there? Really, the difference in possible emotions of the day.
Yeah. As I say, to describe it, when you win one and when you contribute in one, is up there with my career highlights. And if I was asked about my career low moments, I'd certainly say losing at Wembley in the FA Cup finals right up there with the low points.
Brilliant.
Thanks.
It was right in the corner with pace, with my left foot, and
the feeling.
I just can't tell you. I was just, I can't.
Try.